Okay, so, you know, I'm disappointed in the media. And in particular, when I said the media, I'm not talking about independent media. I'm not talking about the media that tells the truth and doesn't cover up and all of that stuff. I'm not talking about those media platforms. I'm talking about the major media, the CNN, the Fox National News, the NBCs. Those are the media broadcast platforms that I am disgusted with. And I used to watch CNN all the time. And sometimes I'll watch Fox. I can't tolerate Fox News. I just can't, as far as nationally. I just cannot stomach Fox News National, okay? When it comes to local news, I can tolerate it a little bit, and I understand, both sides of the spectrum, but when it comes to national news, I just can't. I just can't. And then CNN, I've lost respect for them. Like, there are a few anchors that I really admired, and they got rid of them, and they moved on. But I really am disgusted. So I rely heavily on independent media platforms. I just recently started listening to a podcast called Native Opinions. Mike and Kicking Bear and David Greal, they are the two hosts. Um, Mashantucket Pequot, I believe, is Michael Kicking Bear's tribal affiliation. And then David Greal, his tribal affiliation is Cherokee. I can't think of the band, but I believe it's Cherokee of Alabama. Um, I absolutely love listening to their podcast. They keep it real. They get down to the nitty gritty, and you know, I definitely was a Bernie Sanders. I'm still a Bernie Sanders fan. I went to one of his rallies in Baltimore back in, I believe it was May, um, and I really believed in his message. Now, I don't necessarily believe in every single thing that comes out of his or any politician's mouth, but weighing my options, Bernie Sanders was the real deal. Let's just put it that way. But now that he has passed the torch to Hillary Clinton, who I do not trust at all, I really have been observing Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein. Um, Even though she's picking up some momentum with some of the Bernie Sanders um, voters, um, this is the thing, okay? In the state of Virginia, you do not need to have a politician um, on your ballot in order to vote for them. You can write them in. I mean, that's not a big deal. You do not have to be a registered independent or registered Democrat or registered Republican in order to vote for someone across the party lines, okay? So in my case, living in Virginia, I don't have to deal with if she's on a ballot or not, or do I need to re-register as an independent or whatever. I don't have to do that. But unfortunately, not every state is like that. So I suggest those who live in different states to pay attention to what needs to be done if you want to vote independent or if you want to vote for Trump. Okay, that's your privilege. But just make sure if you were a Democrat and depending on your state voting registration rules, make sure that you take care of that. I say now. You don't want to be a week or a couple of days before the general election and decide, oh, I didn't know I had to change my, the way I vote on paper. I thought I could just go in and vote for whoever I want. So take heed to that advice. But anyway, Jill Scott is pretty much saying the same stuff that Bernie Sanders was saying. Some of the stuff that she talks about is, I believe in it, but at the same time, there's so many corrupt politicians. There's so many politicians that have corporations in their bank accounts getting bribes and things of that nature. So even though she's saying what needs to be done and how we could do it, if she doesn't have enough support, nothing's gonna happen. Period. Nothing's gonna happen. And you know what? Regardless of who wins, I'm gonna vote based on my conscience. I'm gonna vote based on what I believe is right, and I feel like Creator God will acknowledge that. Creator God will, because at the end of the day, what really matters? What matters is what the Creator of the universe wants us to do. He wants us to not exploit people, exploit the environment. He wants us to look after the vulnerable. And on and so forth. It's just so many issues going on right now that on a national level that it is very much overwhelming. So anyway, back to DC going to protest and everything like that. The judge, he pretty much was like he couldn't make a decision. So everything's on hold for that particular pipeline location. Granted, there's multiple states that are going to be affected by this pipeline out there. So even though that particular region, that particular part has been postponed as far as the project, but there are other projects within that same area in different states that have not halted yet, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. But anyway, September 9th is when they've scheduled for another hearing. That is on a Friday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go, but I'm hoping that all those people that was unable to make it this past Wednesday, I'm hoping that they can come in and rally and support the opposers of the Dakota pipeline in my absence. Because I think some of the people that was there Wednesday with me, I don't think they're going to be able to hike back to DC. Some people came from Canada. I met one old Facebook friend that was living in Canada and now is moving back to the States, and she and her kids came all the way down. Long story short, whatever. Anyway, and then there were people from parts of Virginia, like the Tidewater area, representing the Meherrin people. Yay, yay, go Meherrin people. There were people, the Choctaw people from, I think Mississippi was there. I mean, there were so many representatives that were in solidarity with the Sioux people and what's going on out there. They have shut down cell phone service around there. They have shut down water supply down there for the people that are rallying right in the trenches. There's been lies spread that people have weapons. People are being violent towards law enforcement, and the list goes on and on and on. So we just have to be vigilant. We just have to rely on the media, the independent media that's there in the trenches that are reporting, okay? That have live footage. Now Facebook, they do things live now. I don't know how to do that just yet, but they stream live what's going on. Because people were like, I can't post what we're doing right now, get the word out to everybody. This is what's really going on. Some people were taking screenshots of of text messages that people couldn't get on the internet, and then other people were taking the screenshot of the text message and then posting it on Facebook so everybody can see what really was going on. It's frustrating, but the powers that be, they will get what's coming to them, and it's on a supernatural level. Part 3.